let me teach this thing today. There comes a moment in life where you can't wait on the feeling, you gotta force the function. Oh yes, we've been sold a lie that says wait till you feel inspired, wait till it feels right. But baby, the battlefield of greatness is not fought on the land of comfort. It's won in the trenches of resistance. We have raised a generation that is addicted to motivation. They scroll through videos to get that quick jolt, that temporary spark, that rush of energy to feel good for a moment. But baby, let me teach you something. Motivation might get you started, but only discipline will carry you through the storm. If you live your life depending on how you feel, then your future is already bankrupt. Because your feelings are like the weather, they change, they shift. They're up one day, down the next. But discipline is the anchor. Discipline is the structure. Discipline says, I will show up even when I don't feel like being seen. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is spiritual. And if you're going to accomplish anything worth building, anything worth leaving behind, anything that will outlive you, you're going to have to stop waiting to feel inspired and start training yourself to be consistent. Because, hear me, there is nothing anointed about inconsistency. There is nothing powerful about stopping and starting, stopping and starting. The world does not reward people who tried for 2 weeks and quit. The world remembers the ones who kept hammering the rock even when the rock didn't crack. Let me teach this with truth. The enemy of your calling is not the devil, it's your lack of discipline. Because the devil doesn't have to destroy you if he can distract you. And how does he do it? By making you believe that how you feel matters more than what you decide. The word doesn't say, without feelings, it's impossible to please God. It says, without faith. Faith is a decision. Faith is forward. Faith is action. Faith is choosing to move even when your heart is heavy and your head is foggy. Some of y'all keep saying, I don't feel motivated. Well, who told you that your feelings are in charge? Who made your emotions your employer? Let me tell you something, if your feelings ran your business, you'd be broke. If your feelings ran your fitness, you'd be sick. If your feelings ran your faith, you'd be empty. Discipline is the decision to obey your calling even when your emotions are screaming. Sit down. Let's look at the Bible. Jesus, the Son of God, in the Garden of Gethsemane, didn't feel like going to the cross. He prayed, Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. But then came discipline, then came obedience, then came destiny. Nevertheless, not my will, but thy will be done. That's what discipline looks like, doing the hard thing because it's the right thing. The flesh will always crave the easy route. Your mind will always come up with reasons to delay. But when you're disciplined, you don't need to be hyped up, you get up. You don't need a cheerleader, you clock in. You don't need perfect conditions, you build in the rain. That's why discipline is greater than motivation, because motivation fades. But discipline forms you. It molds your character. It chisels your habits. It sharpens your identity. It makes you a person that God can trust with more. And let me say this to every dreamer and builder listening: the future you're praying for will only show up for the disciplined version of you. The untrained, easily distracted, emotionally unstable version of you will never sustain the blessing. God is not going to hand over breakthrough to somebody who breaks down every time it gets hard. You want the throne, but God is watching how you manage the field. You want the harvest, but God is watching if you even show up to plow. Discipline is not sexy. It's not glamorous. It's not always Instagrammable. It's waking up early when your body begs to sleep. It's working late when your friends are out partying. It's studying when nobody's watching. It's saying no to good things so you can say yes to God things. It's refusing to let temporary pleasures rob you of permanent purpose. You don't need more motivation, you need more mastery. You need to train your soul to stop negotiating with laziness. You need to teach your flesh that it doesn't get to lead, because when discipline takes the wheel, your future becomes predictable. Show me a disciplined man, and I'll show you a man whose destiny is secure. Show me a woman who gets up and does the work rain or shine, sick or well, tired or energized, and I'll show you a woman who cannot be stopped. Motivation is for moments. Discipline is for life. If you can force yourself to work when you don't feel like it, if you can move without music, walk without applause, work without a pat on the back, then there is nothing this world can throw at you that you won't overcome. So today, choose discipline, not just because it works, but because God is looking for people who will keep moving even when it hurts. Your future is not concerned with your comfort. It doesn't respond to your mood swings. It doesn't wait for your emotions to align. It doesn't bend for your bad days or slow down when you feel low. Your future is already moving. It's marching forward with or without your cooperation. And if you're sitting still, waiting on the right feeling to do the right thing, let me tell you you're falling behind. Because the door to destiny doesn't open with emotion, it opens with action. We live in a culture that idolizes how we feel. If we feel tired, we don't show up. If we feel sad, we shut down. If we feel unsure, we retreat. But purpose doesn't care about your feelings. Your future doesn't care whether you're happy or stressed, whether you're in the mood or not. Your future is only built by what you do, not by how you feel when doing it. Success is not emotional, it's intentional. You don't stumble into greatness because the vibe felt right that day. You arrive at greatness because you showed up again and again, especially on the days you didn't want to. You put your hands to the plow when you were crying. You kept building even when you felt broken. You kept sowing seeds when you were struggling to believe in the harvest, and that right there is how the future is shaped. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in history were birthed not in moments of motivation, but in seasons of frustration. Joseph didn't feel good in the pit. He didn't feel good in the prison, but the promise was still waiting at the palace. David didn't feel like a king when he was running for his life, but purpose kept pulling him forward. Esther didn't feel safe when she walked into the king's court, but purpose spoke louder than fear. Your feelings are real, but they're not always right, and they certainly aren't supposed to be your final authority. You keep waiting until you feel ready. But let me tell you, readiness is not a feeling, it's a decision. The future will not wait on you to wake up emotionally. It will keep moving, and if you don't match its pace with faith and focus, you'll watch doors close that were meant to open. You'll miss opportunities because you let your emotions become your excuse. Your feelings can sabotage your calling if you let them. One bad mood can delay 6 months of progress. One emotional reaction can cost you years of trust. That's why maturity is learning how to manage your emotions without letting them manage you. Your future is too important to be left in the hands of your current feelings. The Bible says, "He who observes the wind will not sow, and he who regards the clouds will not reap." In other words, if you're always watching the conditions, waiting for the perfect moment, you'll never plant anything, and if you never plant, you'll never harvest. That's how many of us live, observing our internal weather, waiting for the emotional clouds to clear before we move. But destiny isn't built in the clear skies, it's built when you plow through the storm. Let me talk to every person who's been saying, "I don't feel like it." You don't feel like working. You don't feel like praying. You don't feel like writing. You don't feel like forgiving. You don't feel like getting up early. But here's the truth. Your future doesn't negotiate with your now. If you let how you feel today dictate what you do, then tomorrow will look just like yesterday. There's nothing wrong with having emotions. God gave them to you, but He never meant for you to be ruled by them. You were designed to walk by faith, not by feelings. Faith keeps moving when fear is screaming. Faith keeps building when passion is low. Faith keeps fighting when fatigue sets in. Faith says, "Even though I don't feel strong, I know I am." Even though I feel discouraged, I choose to act encouraged. Even though I feel empty, I will still pour. Your destiny is not built on the days you felt amazing, it's built on the days you pressed through anyway. You don't get a strong body by working out when you feel motivated. You get strong by showing up when everything in you says, stay home. You don't build a powerful life by waiting on the right emotion. You build it by putting in the right effort. There are blessings reserved for the disciplined. There are doors that only open for the consistent. There are victories that only belong to the committed. And those things will not wait for you to be in a good mood. So stop waiting to feel like it and start acting like it. Start talking like it. Start walking like it. Show your future that you are coming not on feelings, but on fire. Not based on your emotions, but on your commitment. Your feelings might be fickle, but your future is still faithful. So step toward it even if you're limping, even if you're tired, even if your heart is hurting. Because the future you want is waiting on the version of you that can work without emotional permission. Comfort is not your friend. It feels good, it looks good, it talks sweet, but it's one of the greatest enemies to your progress. Comfort tells you you've done enough. Comfort says don't push too hard. Comfort whispers you're tired, take it easy. But purpose does not live in comfort. Growth does not happen where it's convenient. Transformation does not take place in the safe zones of life. If you want progress, you've got to get uncomfortable. Look back at every major move in your life. Every step forward required something from you, something that didn't come easy. It cost you energy. It cost you tears. It cost you late nights, early mornings, awkward conversations, and faith that didn't always make sense. But if you trace it, progress always demanded pressure. It always demanded discomfort. Because listen, you don't grow when you're cozy. You grow when something starts stretching you. You grow when something challenges your routine. You grow when something disrupts your rhythm and makes you say, I've got to become better than this. The children of Israel cried out for freedom in Egypt, but when the wilderness got uncomfortable, they begged to go back. They said, at least in Egypt we had food. At least we knew what to expect. That's what comfort does. It blinds you to how bad things really were just because they were familiar. But God didn't call you out of bondage for you to flirt with it every time the path gets hard. You weren't set free to sit still. You were delivered so you could develop. You were chosen so you could change, and change does not happen in comfort. Comfort makes you passive. It dulls your senses. It silences your hunger. It tells you to rest when you should rise. Comfort makes you excuse mediocrity and dress it up as peace. But real peace is not the absence of challenge. Real peace is knowing that even in the middle of the fire, you're still moving forward. It's knowing that the discomfort is necessary because the destination is too big to reach without some shaking. Listen to me, lions don't grow stronger laying in the sun. Eagles don't learn to fly staying in the nest. Diamonds don't form in soft places, and you won't walk into destiny clinging to ease. Some of you are praying for progress, but living for comfort. You say, God, enlarge my territory, but you refuse to leave the shore. You say, God, take me higher, but you don't want the altitude sickness. You want the glory, but not the grind, and God is saying, if you want more, you're going to have to do more. If you want growth, you're going to have to endure discomfort. Let me give it to you plain. Comfort is where dreams go to die. It's where visions stay visions and never become victory. It's where purpose is silenced by preference. You can't grow a business from your bed. You can't build a legacy in your leisure. You can't reach millions if you're not willing to sacrifice your comfort zone for the calling on your life. This is why some people stay in the same place year after year. They're not bad people. They're not untalented. They're not forgotten by God. They're just comfortable. They've built a routine that's killing their results, and every time life tries to stretch them, they shrink. Every time discomfort comes, they retreat. But let me tell you this, until you learn to embrace the discomfort, you will always resist the development. You will never walk in power if you avoid pressure. You will never taste progress if you fear pain, because pressure is not there to punish you, it's there to prepare you. The very things you're calling problems might be the things God is using to pull greatness out of you. And yes, it's hard, yes, it hurts, but that stretching is producing strength. That shaking is producing substance. That discomfort is your confirmation that God is moving you. Ask any athlete, any builder, any leader, they'll all tell you the same thing. Growth is painful, but it's worth it. You're not supposed to stay where it's easy. You're not supposed to stay where it's familiar. That comfort zone was never meant to be permanent, it was just a resting stop. But some of you made it your residence, and now your dreams are suffocating under the weight of your ease. This is your wake-up call. This is your push. Get uncomfortable. Challenge yourself again. Push yourself again. Say yes when your body says no. Show up when your feelings say stay down, because the comfort zone is crowded, but the victory lane is lonely. Only the ones who endure discomfort make it there. So the next time you feel pressure, don't curse it. Praise through it. The next time you feel stretched, don't panic, lean in, because if you're uncomfortable, it means you're being upgraded. It means God is pulling you into something that your comfort could never carry. Progress is painful, but staying stuck is worse. Move, stretch, grow. Your future is worth the fight. You don't win the battle of life with muscles, you win it with mindset. The greatest warfare is not out there in the world, it's in your head. It's in the quiet places where no one can hear your thoughts. It's in the moments when your body is able, but your mind is uncertain. That's why if you don't learn how to train your mind, your moods will control your movement. And if your moods control your movement, you'll never arrive at your destiny. Let me tell you this straight, your mind is a battlefield, and every day that you wake up, you're either training it or you're being trained by it. If you don't take command of your thoughts, they will take command of you. You can't walk in purpose while thinking with patterns of defeat. You can't expect change while feeding your mind the same cycle of excuses, limitations, and fears. The word says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Not your feelings, not your mood. Your mind, your mood is momentary. It's based on how much sleep you got, how somebody spoke to you, or how things turned out today. But your mind, that's the seat of your decisions. That's the place where vision lives. Your mind holds the blueprint for your future. So if you're going to be who God called you to be, you have to learn how to separate what you feel from what you know. Because what you know is stronger than what you feel. You don't train your body in the gym one day and expect it to be fit forever. You go back over and over again, building strength, developing stamina, resisting pressure. And your mind is no different. You've got to feed it daily, discipline it hourly, speak over it constantly, and most of all, you've got to stop giving your feelings the keys to your life. Too many people are led by how they feel. They pray when they feel spiritual. They study when they feel curious. They grind when they feel motivated. But baby, success doesn't come to the emotional, it comes to the mentally disciplined. It comes to the ones who don't need a mood to determine their move. Because here's the truth, your feelings lie. Your mood can deceive you, but your mind, when trained, will stand firm like a rock in the storm. If you wake up every morning asking, do I feel like doing this? You'll rarely grow. But if you wake up saying, this is who I am, this is what I do, no mood can stop you. Athletes train their bodies, yes, but what separates the elite from the average is the mindset. Champions win the race before they even run it. They win in the morning routines, the silent hours, the mindset rehearsals, the affirmations, the visualizations long before they step onto the field. You want to be more focused, train the mind. You want to be more confident, train the mind. You want to stop quitting every time life gets hard, train the mind. Your mind must become stronger than your mood, because the mood will always give you an exit. It'll always whisper, do it later. It'll always say, it's too much. The mood will give you reasons, but the mind gives you results. And don't you know the enemy is counting on your mood swings? He knows you'll start strong, but fall off if your feelings get bruised. He knows you'll write the vision, but won't follow through if you don't feel like it. He doesn't need to take your calling. He just needs to catch you on a bad day and let your emotions derail the whole assignment. That's why God is trying to train you now to have a mind like Christ, a mind of discipline, a mind of endurance, a mind of focus. Paul said, I bring my body under subjection. In other words, I don't let my feelings run this house. I tell myself when to get up. I tell myself when to write. I tell myself when to press. I don't need permission from my mood to walk in my mission. Let me talk to the leader in you, the warrior in you, the builder in you. Train your mind until your habits override your hesitation. Train your mind until the rhythm of discipline is louder than the whisper of doubt. Train your mind until you don't flinch under pressure, until you don't freeze in uncertainty, until you don't collapse every time life gets inconvenient. Because your future will not be won by how inspired you are. It will be won by how trained you are, by how prepared your mind is for rejection, for resistance, for repetition. The battle is not in the task, the battle is in your thoughts. So no more giving up because it got hard. No more quitting because your emotions dipped. No more stopping and starting because your mood fluctuated. You are not your feelings. You are not your fatigue. You are not your fear. You are a disciplined, focused, anointed individual with a renewed mind and a set course. Now, walk in it, think like it, live like it, and let no mood keep you from the movement you were born to make. We serve a God who does not reward laziness. He does not bless excuses. He does not partner with procrastination. Our God honors diligence. Diligence is not about perfection, it's about persistence. It's not about talent, it's about tenacity. God is not looking for people who have it all together. He's looking for people who will keep going, keep trying, keep showing up, even when everything inside them wants to quit. Excuses are easy to make. You can dress them up. You can make them sound wise. You can even spiritualize them. It's not the right season. I'm waiting on confirmation. I'm still healing. I'm not ready yet. But when God gives you an assignment, He's not looking for your comfort. He's looking for your commitment. Because if He called you, He already factored in your flaws. He already knew about your fears. He already saw your shortcomings. He doesn't need you to be perfect. He needs you to be present. The Word says in Proverbs 12:24, the hand of the diligent will rule, but the slothful will be put to forced labor. That means diligence leads to dominion, but excuses lead to bondage. Every time you make an excuse, you give your power away. You surrender authority to your circumstances. You hand over the pen of your story to your situation. But when you rise in diligence, even if you don't have it all figured out, you begin to reclaim the future God designed for you. Some of us have been praying for open doors, but we haven't even left the couch. Asking for favor, but unwilling to prepare. We want harvests from fields we never planted. But God doesn't bless wishing, He blesses working. He honors the one who says, God, I don't know how, but I'm going to show up anyway. I'm going to write the book. I'm going to study the Word. I'm going to apply for the position. I'm going to train for the opportunity because I believe you respond to effort. You can pray all day, but if you won't move your feet, don't expect Him to multiply your steps. Faith is not just in your mouth, it has to be in your hands. It has to be in your schedule. It has to be in your discipline. God blesses the ones who do it tired. He blesses the ones who do it afraid. He blesses the ones who keep digging ditches even when the clouds haven't formed, because they believe rain is coming. Do you want to know why some people keep moving forward and others stay stuck? It's not always about who's smarter or more talented. It's about who kept showing up. It's about who worked while others whined, who practiced while others partied, who pushed through while others made excuses. Because diligence doesn't need applause. Diligence doesn't need a crowd. Diligence says, I'm doing this because I was called to it, not because it's easy. Look at Noah. God told him to build an ark, and it had never rained before. Can you imagine the ridicule, the confusion, the doubt? But Noah kept building every single day. That's diligence. He didn't need the sky to give him confirmation. He had a word from God, and he obeyed it with consistency. And because of that obedience, his entire family was saved. Some of you have no idea how many generations will be blessed just because you didn't quit. Excuses feel good in the moment, but they cost you destiny in the long run. You can either comfort your weakness or cultivate your strength, but you can't do both. And let me be clear, God will let you choose. He gave you the power to decide. But don't ask for divine breakthrough while living in human-level discipline. Don't beg God for overflow when you won't even manage the little He's already given you. Because the Bible says, to whom much is given, much is required. Diligence is not just for the big days, it's for the boring ones. It's not just for the exciting moments, it's for the early mornings when no one is watching. It's waking up and doing the thing again, and again, and again. Not because you feel like it, but because you're faithful to it. And let me tell you, when God sees that kind of faithfulness, He breathes on it. He opens doors no man can shut. He multiplies your efforts. He places your name in rooms you didn't even know existed. So stop making excuses. Stop blaming your past. Stop waiting for motivation. Get up and get diligent. Put your hands to the plow and refuse to look back. Your progress may be slow, but if you keep going, it will be sure. Because our God honors grinders, not quitters. He rewards faithfulness, not just feelings. This is your season to do the work. This is your moment to stop circling the same mountain of excuses. This is your time to walk in diligence like it's a calling, because it is. And when you do, watch what God does with your consistency. Watch how He turns your daily discipline into generational destiny. Keep pressing, keep digging, keep showing up, because God always honors the diligent. Let me bring this all together. If there's one thing you take from this entire message, let it be this. Your destiny does not bow to your feelings, it responds to your discipline, your diligence, your daily decisions. You cannot afford to wait for motivation. You cannot afford to be led by moods. You cannot afford to sit back and hope the future comes knocking on your door. You've got to force yourself to work, even when you don't feel like it. Because there is greatness in you, but it won't grow in comfort. There is purpose in you, but it won't manifest through excuses. There is legacy in you, but it won't be unlocked by feelings. It will be released by faith, forged by discipline, and fueled by diligence. When you train your mind to override your mood, when you push past your feelings and show up anyway, when you get up tired, work hard, study, build, and grind, when nobody claps, God will honor it, heaven will respond. Doors will open, and your future will begin to unfold. So this is your moment. No more waiting, no more whining, no more making excuses. Get up, show up, push through, do the work, not because it's easy, but because you were called. Not because you feel like it, but because your destiny demands it. Because if you can work when you don't feel like it, then there is nothing you can't become. Now go and walk boldly into your future. Fire even when you don't feel like it.